What I see and it's our dream to do is, the more you stay, the longer they want to stay.
Vietnam is my home. It's taken care of me for 20 years. Hoi An specifically is my home. So now this is a way for me to express kind of what I feel about Vietnam as my home. This kind of way of designing, developing and operating becomes more the norm than the surprise. I would love Hoi An people to be very proud of it. So we have a real responsibility to be able to deliver that.
Good morning, Vietnam. I'm Hao, your host of the Vietnam Innovators podcast. Thank you for tuning in every single week and supporting the show. Without you, this would not be possible. Today, you might be seeing that I'm a bit more relaxed than normal. I'm wearing all linen, as are my guests. And we're at a beautiful resort here in Hoi An, Vietnam, central Vietnam. And we're at the resort called Namia River Retreat. And it just opened a couple months ago. And it's such a fantastic place. But I'll let the two of them speak more about it. Michelle, Mr. Nam, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you two. We're delighted to introduce the Namia River Retreat in this episode. Located on the serene Gon Basa Islet in Hoi An, Namia is where culture, wellness, and nature come together in perfect harmony. So Michelle Ford is the general manager and Mr. Nam is the owner. Maybe we just start with a brief introduction of both of you. So perhaps start with Michelle and then Mr. Nam after that.
Yes, so I'm Michelle, I'm the general manager here, and I came to Vietnam 20 years ago and called Hoi An my home for the full 20 years.
Wow.
So I think that's really my connection to this property from the beginning till now. We met together 5 years ago to start.
Excellent. Great. And Mr. Nam?
Yeah, actually I'm from Hanoi. I'm also working for tourism industry for almost 25 years. I started with the inbound business, and then we have the cruise business in Ha Long Bay.
Okay.
And now we have the new property in Hoi An. I met Michelle 5 years ago, and very lucky we built together.
Yeah. And I just have to say to the audience to know, this is truly one of the best products I've experienced. And this is coming from someone that has had the luck of and privilege of traveling quite a bit around the region and in Vietnam. It's really fantastic. It's not just because I'm here today. It's also a true statement, I would say. But I'll let them kind of share more. So let's just start with the first question is, how did you two meet? Because when you say you only met 5 years ago and boom, 5 years later, you have a hotel, that's actually really fast.
Yes.
That's not a long time, as anyone knows about building a hotel. So perhaps Michelle, maybe start with your sharing from your perspective, how you met Mr. Nam.
Yes. I think when I met Mr. Nam, I was thinking no more hospitality for me. I felt a little bit disillusioned by it. And I thought wellness is only my path. That's all I want to do. So, it started there. And then when I got the call from Mr. Nam and we walked this land, at that time it was totally barren. It was convincing with his vision. Yep. This land and, this promise of wellness can be truly integrated into what we offer. So, that's really what changed my perspective.
Okay. And by the way, Mr. Nam, I also met Michelle around 5 years ago.
Really?
So you don't know this story, and no one actually knows this story, but in early June of 2020, I was traveling to Hoi An. And at the time, it was COVID, obviously, so very quiet. And I don't recall who introduced us, Michelle, but I remember meeting at a coffee shop in
we met at Espresso Station.
Was that it? Okay, Espresso Station. And I remember you were sharing about your vision, just what you were trying to do. And for me, I was explaining, as a CEO, I'm constantly, under pressure. I have too many things going on and I need some help. And you actually referred somebody to do some sessions with me.
I think you did yoga. Some breath work and yoga, right?
Yeah, yes. So this particular practitioner came to visit me for that. And I remember very vividly her explaining this concept to me, Mr. Nam. So I must have been one of the first people to hear about it.
Wow.
So it really feels like, boom, I'm here. And that wasn't even 5 years ago, that was 4.5 years ago.
So you were definitely meant to be one telling our story, in other words.
So Mr. Nam, how did you hear about Michelle? Was it an introduction?
I knew her a long time ago when she used to work as GM of Fusimea Da Nang. I stayed there several times and I love the concept.
Yeah.
I got this land, I would say 10 years back, long time ago. And we try keeping, looking for the new concept, how we can combine kind of, Vietnamese hospitality, traditional, the beauty of Vietnam into the luxury hotel class. So when I met Michelle, we shared the vision and I tried to convince her that we want to do something unique, different from the other hotels. Especially with this location, with this land in Hoi An, we want to develop something that we proud of. Vietnamese industry, tourism industry proud of, and that's why I convinced her that we should do something, different. And she bring the wellness into the project, and we bring some kind of traditional into project together. So that is the perfect match from the beginning.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it a bit more, but everyone these days, big companies, small companies, the government's talking about this brand Vietnam, creative economy. How do we build brands, not just commodities, for Vietnam? And we'll hear about the Namia brand as overall in a little bit. But Mr. Nam, when you mentioned you've been working in the industry for 25 years, my first thought is imagining like a tour guide, kind of like in Hanoi, you're in your 20s. I don't know how old you are now, but you're just getting your career started. You're taking guests from overseas around your hometown of Hanoi. Walk us through your early childhood experiences. Like what brought you to work in tourism and even inspired this particular concept?
Wow, this is quite a long story when I was a student. At that time in the summer, we all went out to look for the intern opportunity, and then I met some guy from the travel agent, and I bring some group to Halong Bay, and I saw the cruise on Halong Bay. I love it, and when I come back, I'm graduated, and I decided to open my travel agent, and I started business since then. I was born in the countryside village in Hanam province, 1 hour from Hanoi. So during my childhood time, I lived in the peaceful village where everybody know everybody. So very close relationship with all the people. And sometimes when we ran out, play, and we catch flu, and at that time we could not go to hospital or both kind of clinic medicine. But my mother and my grandmother just went out to the garden, pick some leaf, lemongrass and bamboo leaf, and then they put together, steam it and put me under the blanket and steam like and after that refreshed and totally changed. So that's something put in my memory. So that's why all of those things keep there, and I try to do something for this project.
Yeah. That gives me very vivid imagery of wellness in Vietnam, from the countryside to your childhood experiences. It's very embedded in Vietnamese culture and society, the idea of wellness. But when you think about it today, it's not obvious to the traveler. Like, what is wellness? What is hospitality? The Vietnamese version of it. We tend to think of like Thailand or Indonesia because it's in the movies and that kind of thing. Michelle, over to you. You spent 2 decades being part of this industry. You mentioned you're the general manager of a hotel brand. What about Vietnam and specifically Hoi An has motivated you to pursue this project after 20 years of being here?
I think just like you mentioned, the fact that wellness is embedded in the local culture. And Mr. Nam was saying everyone knows everyone. Community is a strong message as well. So I think this community and embedment of wellness is really what we are missing sometimes. And why we did this as an inclusive concept, to just embed the wellness in our daily lives again. And the way that we help and care for each other in the resort and our guests is that same philosophy of that village, where we all knew each other and we all care for each other. I think that's the simplicity of hospitality. And I think in Vietnam it's done so well naturally. We don't have to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, very good. And perhaps a question for both of you, but Mr. Nam first. If you could sum up Namia in one feeling, what would it be?
One feeling.
And think about your answer first to Michelle, so you're not influenced by his answer.
I think I've got mine.
Harmony, peaceful, village.
You picked 3, so she's got
Sorry,
fewer options.
It's not in my list, so we're totally good.
Very good. I like those words. Over to you, Michelle.
I think mine complements Mr. Nam's one. I think home, you know, because it really is that Vietnam is my home. It's taken care of me for 20 years. Hoi An specifically is my home. So now this is a way for me to express kind of what I feel about Vietnam as my home. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's hone in, I'll start with Michelle, to this idea of Vietnamese hospitality and wellness. One of the first things I've observed being a guest here just overnight was the integration of like herbology. I assume it's all local and from Vietnam. It's at the heart of the approach for Namia. Can you share a unique kind of experience that captures this philosophy, just so our audience can perhaps visualize or at least hear what that sounds like?
I think the inspiration started by going to one local healer here in Hoi An. And she was a grandma and she was making this herbal remedy. And I had someone to help translate to understand it. And, you know, I thought it's complicated in some way. And she just picked up a few herbs from a pot in her small garden and made these traditions. When she gave the treatment, it kicked out all the inflammation. And coming back over 3 days, I just saw this red inflammation reduce. So I think that was my first awareness of herbology and the benefits of it here in Vietnam, particularly. And I think the fact that it's not as known here because it's embedded in daily life, it's not shared as easily, is so important for us to share, because places like India and Thailand and Bali are already known for it. But our traditions here are equally strong and equally powerful, just not integrated strongly into hospitality yet.
I see. And I keep seeing this word kind of reflective of the hotel, this idea of slowing down, slow travel. I have to admit, I am a fast traveler. I stay in urban cities. I stay in hotels that have convenient locations. This is a convenient location too, though, don't get me wrong. Yeah. So in this world of like fast travel and convenience, how did you design this concept to reflect the needs of modern day travelers, but also just offer something really different? So over to Michelle, and then maybe some words from Mr. Nam too.
I think we probably designed it slowly and mindfully, and somehow that sets the tone for the rest. But I think the modern traveler is like you, very busy, lots of pressure in terms of our work, our stress levels. And so we designed it in a way that guests could do this wellness treatment to slow down the body and can reconnect to the body. And that takes multiple times. It's not a quick fix to come once and have that. So by including it and doing it every day, we see after 3 days, we just come down more and more. We slow down more and more. Yeah.
Mr. Nam, you're a busy business person, I assume.
Yeah, I think apart from the wellness that Mr. mentioned, I think the location of Namia is you see the river around here. So what we would like to design product is to offer kind of lie by the river. So that means everybody like you or me, businessman, when you come here, it's not just stay or like in the other hotel. We want people to really, find themselves through the landscaping and, the surrounding here and stay relaxed. And Hoi An is central Vietnam, so we want the people kind of, they travel to Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, they stay here and they can, not only 2 or 3 nights, but people up to now, I can say that a lot of people stay here 4 or 5 days. And we try to offer them more and more activities like their home. So not only staying, but also they can find a lot of activity culture around and they enjoy and they live here for a while. And that is more than just stay.
Yeah, one thing I observed when I checked in too was an itinerary was kind of given to me by the team, and it took all the guessing out of what should I do. Because a lot of resorts, I feel like, give an overwhelming number of options, and there's almost like no curation to it. But here, it's all about wellness. So every activity somehow connects to that. So when I reviewed the schedule, I was like, I want to do everything. But I literally don't have enough time. I'm here on work, so I'm working today. But
Good reasons
in the
to come
evening,
back.
no, yeah, it really
Yeah.
was curated well and not overwhelming as well. Took the guessing out of it. Because I think busy people, we like to say that fewer options is actually better because you can just pick quickly, and any option you choose will probably be a good one. So just wanted to share that. Back to Michelle, we mentioned earlier that the demand for wellness in day-to-day life and hospitality has been rising. There's many cases of that, from the big hotels developing and acquiring lifestyle brands, wellness brands. Talk to me and share with the audience about what is Vietnamese wellness compared to like the global understanding of wellness. Is there specific treatments or philosophies, keywords that you think really stand out for Vietnamese wellness?
I would say ingrained, because even if you were to talk to someone, they wouldn't necessarily even know that it's wellness, because it's just part of daily life. And I think food being medicine here, very naturally as well, the type of food, the integration of all the elements in the food, I think it's just natural.
Yeah, so it's just part of the Vietnamese lifestyle already. And now it's time for us to really express that.
Yes, as opposed to move away from it, to try to do something kind of Western wellness oriented, I think we should rather embed stronger into what is there and share that.
Mr. Nam, let's talk about the river. When people think of Hoi An, they think the beach, they think the old town. They don't really think the river, actually. Sadly, Hoi An today, a lot of the beaches have erosion, they're disappearing. When a lot of guests from overseas come to Hoi An, they're like, where's the beach? And it's kind of gone now. So maybe you can share about how the river has played into the concept and identity of Namia and also the city, and any other influences it might have on the design.
Yeah, people now come to Hoi An for the beach or the old town and even the street food. But everybody knows that the Hoi An used to be the commercial pier and the port. Long time ago, and we have very strong influence from different countries. And you will see in the map, we have a lot of rivers, small, cross the old town. And very lucky we have the location here, and only 30 meters from here to the old town. And we see the river in Hoi An is beautiful with the Nepal around. So we bring one very strong life by the river concept to the resort, where later on, our guests here can travel to the old town by our water taxi. And later on, we also have the dining cruise, sunset cocktails cruise, to integrate into the products. So the guests here, they can, travel to Hoi An by the boat, and they can cruise along the river by boat as well. And they can have lunch or cocktail and dinner on boat. So that's something we see that people will love it. And apart from that, we also thinking in the near future we may bring kind of electric boat to improve the noise issue here in Hoi An. Kind of sustainable products in Hoi An too, because now we see a lot of boat with the noise around the city. We not only running the hotel, but also we see that our responsibility to improve kind of environment here, especially to make Hoi An become more sustainable tourism destination. So we see the river or the water activities. Now we also train our guests to row the boat around our island. The people love it, and that's something only Namia has.
Okay.
So,
yeah, fantastic.
It's inspired by Hoi An as an ancient trading port, really bringing that feeling of cultures and philosophies mixing, and this activity and this hustle and bustle on the river.
I want to talk about how the city has changed over the last 20, 25 years. So when I came for the first time 10 years ago, charming, obviously. It was busy, but today's even busier. Maybe the two of you can comment about why Namia today. why is it so important to have something like this today as opposed to 10, 20 years ago? So maybe Michelle, I'll start with you.
I think when I came 20 years ago, it was a sleepy village with just one street that was really tourist oriented. And now, as it becomes more popular, it is a good thing because it brought a lot of livelihoods to many people. But at the same time, we have to balance the different methods to monitor it well. And from our perspective, for a guest staying, I think before they could maybe spend hours in Hoi An, a whole day walking around. But now I feel like going in for short parts and coming back to retreat here, have quiet time, is the right approach for today's life in Hoi An. They can go out and explore in the evening to see the lantern lights, or they can go out really early morning with us on a bicycle trail, and we show them Hoi An before at this dawn of light, where we've got the market hustling and bustling, and before all the tourists arrive. Yep. So we have to dig a little bit deeper, and we have to go a little bit further, and we need a lot of local know-how to really show them something new or something a little bit undiscovered.
And Mr. Nam, a similar question, but you mentioned you have a travel agency. So how has your team been introducing Hoi An over the last 20 years? How has it evolved?
I think Hoi An is apart from the cultural heritage site, very famous, and that included in own tour program for own company. But so far, people stay in Hoi An only one night or 1.5. And a lot of people stay in Da Nang and they come here for a day tour. Second reason is in Hoi An now you can see the old town is very small, and the city is expanding to the south of Hoi An for a big project. So for those who want to stay looking for luxury properties, you have two choices: either you stay in the beach or you go to the south Hoi An. And inside of the city, they only have the small boutique 2, 3, or 4-star hotels. Luckily, we have the big island and close to the old town, but we decided to only 5 hectares this land, but we only, I would say, footprint only 20%. So we built only 60 pool villa to stay calm and to offer more, privacy, quiet, slow travel for the passengers. So I think what we want to offer to the market is the still high luxury, standard, but still in city center. So you have one more choice. If you look for the boutique city resort luxury, now you can choose the Namia. You don't need to go to the beach. So I think that is something missing for the tourism industry. So when the Namia happened and when we come up with the product, a lot of travel agents and companies, they said, okay, wow, that is exactly missing now in the central Vietnam. And we will do it. And they pick it now more alternative option for the luxury segment. So we're happy that we add Namia into exactly to what the market missing now.
Okay. Let's talk about the misconceptions with hospitality. When I mentioned to a friend just yesterday that I was coming to a wellness all-inclusive, he was mentioning things like, oh, does it have a cold plunge, which you guys do? Does it have, all these things that are getting quite popular around the world? And nobody actually really knows if they work. People have their opinions, of course, and research, but it's still an open question, I guess you could say. How does Namia try to rise up to that challenge? How are you guys addressing the perception of wellness? Is it real? Is it actually helping? Maybe you can share about that.
Yeah. I think we really take a lifestyle approach. So it's not prescriptive or too strict in the approach, because we know that our guests are leisure and they're coming on holiday. So we want them to relax, but we just want them to relax deeper. And so with the wellness inclusive concept, we're really taking away this feeling of something that you have to pay more for, or something that you feel guilty to take the time for. We really see it as something that is like self-care and something that should be done daily, just like your breakfast is as important as this 90 minutes of self-care. So, that's the approach we take. And with what we're offering in terms of the journey, all the steps are clearly defined to help that deeper relaxation, that release of tension in the body. And whether it's through a cold plunge or a sauna or the herbs, it's all towards that goal of relaxing deeper, sleeping better, slowing down.
I feel like I need to get a bath like right in the bedroom now.
Exactly.
It actually might be a better way to do it than getting one of those traditional baths. We'll include some photos for the audience to check that out.
So one of our in-room rituals that we work with a local herbalist is a herbal bath. So you can experience that. And the other one, for example, is the sleep tea, a tonic that's made with a herbalist as well. Yeah.
Okay. Back over to Mr. Nam. So sustainability is being used and in some ways overused. Everyone's saying the word today. That's not a bad thing. It's just a lot of people are using it. I'd love for you to share how Namia is actually implementing that. So for instance, you mentioned like everything in this room today is from Hoi An, which is pretty amazing. Maybe you can share about that, how you guys are trying to define sustainability for yourselves.
It's very difficult. You know, when you want to build the 5-star property, a lot of things you have to be balanced between the function and also the long use of the material. And but we have to make decision which material we use. And of course, we also under the pressure in terms of maintenance sometimes. But we decided to use 100% nature material for the Namia. That's not because of the sustainable, but also we see that people nowadays they for the a little bit high-end segment they want to stay and live with that. So we select a lot, work a lot with the consultant to come up with the solution, how to integrate all of those things into the design. That is very challenging, but so far we're very happy that we decide to use 100% of nature material for the hotel development.
And I think sustainability is a process like wellness. We never reach the destination. We can't say we are there. We just have a foundation for the future, and we have to keep that mindset in everything that we do, just like we keep wellness at the heart. In terms of sustainability, even our team are all local from Hoi An and Da Nang. So it's all the training and the development. It's our future community work that we have to do. It's an ongoing process. Yeah.
Okay. So this question's for both of you. What's one secret gem of this resort that people don't know about? You mentioned they're here 4 or 5 days, but you basically live here, not full time, but what's that one hidden gem? So for instance, I just discovered there's a Moroccan hammam, or inspired by Morocco, I guess. And that was quite a surprise.
I don't know, but what I see and it's our dream to do is the more you stay, the longer they want to stay. And with a lot of reasons. It's not only for Haman or wellness, or our staff or food, or like by the river, but we do everything to try to offer the truly Vietnamese warm hospitality and the real value. And we don't want, like Michelle said, we don't want to make up the thing or try to be the standard. No, we want to offer everything very nature. Even our staff, they own the department. They also involved into the activity daily with the guests. So we want to live in peace. Guests is our, like their home, but we don't want to, follow exactly what we have to do. So we just want to offer a very, friendly and peaceful environment where guests can explore and find themselves in peace, and they can have very good sleep. And the more they stay, they feel more and more, relaxed, and they can stay more. And that is something so far we're doing that. And we're happy people stay, 4 or 5 or even a week in the Namia.
Okay.
Yes, I think maybe to comment to your feeling of the hammam, I think you heard Mr. Nam talk about the steaming ritual in his village. And my sharing of the grandma with the herbs. And so you will see that's how that story came to life. We just used modern tools to make it happen. But the concept and the heart of it was really these stories coming together. And really around Sống, khỏe, steaming therapies as well.
Okay.
Yeah. What would surprise me, I think I might refer to something of Mr. Nam when you shared you were lying on your terrace, just watching the river, the night sky above. You know, I think there's very few moments that people can still have that. Just the quiet, the silence, the nature in front of you, the sky. You know, sometimes we think it's all the extra things, but it's not. It's having that moment in the room that feels all designed for this moment. Yeah.
You can sleep under the stars in a way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Each of the villas has a private patio too?
Yes, every single one, the private pool and private terrace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So over to Mr. Nam, if you were to return to Namia 10 years later, let's say today you decided I won't come back for another 10 years, what would you see the brand evolve into? What would your dream be?
Legacy, that's something we aim to do, to build the Namia. Actually, we want to make Namia as one of the world-class hotel, local brand, where Vietnamese culture, Vietnamese tradition, Vietnamese warm hospitality, it's there. And people, you know, see, yes, it is exactly the Vietnamese hotel, local brand, but they run very high level of service. And we want to put Namia as one of the top world hotel map and pass it to our next generation and to motivate, inspire young generation, especially in our industry, people to confirm that we can do it. It's not only, you know, the international brand here in Vietnam. We can run with even better quality of the hotel and very strong culture. And that is exactly what our guests want to experience. If you stay in the, international brand hotel, you can try everywhere. But Namia only here in Hoi An. That's something people want to bring back, their memory. But they feel, okay, that is very world-class hotel. So that is I want to see it in the next coming years.
Okay, not 10 years. Next year. So, Michelle, that's the KPI.
Yes.
Same question over to you, Michelle. What legacy do you want to leave? You've been 20 years in the business already. We'd love to hear from you as well.
I think I would love it to be kind of a love letter to Hoi An. I would love Hoi An people to be very proud of it. So we have a real responsibility to be able to deliver that. And hopefully a movement, I would like it to be copied, that this kind of way of designing, developing and operating becomes more the norm than the surprise.
Okay.
I think that's for Vietnam in general too. Yeah,
very good. Final question for both of you, and I'll have Mr. Nam answer this first. So we have you on the podcast today to share your perspectives on wellness, hospitality. You've both combined almost 50 years of experience. What's one thing that you would love to know more about that we can help you find out more about? So we'll invite that guest on the show and help share some insights for you. So what would that industry be? It doesn't have to be hospitality, just something you're curious about, want to learn more about.
I love to hear more about food and beverage and sustainable food and beverage trends. I know that's your passion too, so I love that. And then obviously anything along the lines of Vietnamese spirituality and wellness, so that we can show what is the new Vietnam in that regard, not just in tourism as well.
Okay. Mr. Nam, anything
I
you'd
want
like to know more about?
Few more months. Want to see more and more, cruise around the resort. We want to develop more and more, the activities along the river. I want to have more, cruise where people stay on island. They can explore and enjoy their time along the river in Hoi An, which is something very special.
Okay. So if you can help answer any of that for Mr. Nam or Michelle, please leave your name and contact in the comments. They'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
By the way, I've tried the restaurant here too. Vietnamese food, a couple other things mixed in there, but definitely a great option to have. But Michelle's always looking to improve as well. So drop her a note. Mr. Nam, Miss Michelle, thank you so much for being on the podcast here today. Is there anything else that you'd like to share to the audience before we close out?
Yes, I think, the story of Namia is we really investigated what stories Hoi An has to share. And so there were 3 stories that we really wanted to tell. One was crafted with nature. As Mr. Nam mentioned before, everything in the area is really crafted. There's pottery villages and wood carving villages and bronze and copper making villages. The second one was life by the river, just by nature of this river and the flowing of life and immersing deeper into a culture. And the last one was ritual of light, because I think no Hoi An stay is complete without that. So we infuse ritual of light, but also the philosophy of mindfulness in everything we do.
Okay.
Xin mời đến Namia trải nghiệm một trong những cái resort mà tất cả người Việt Nam sẽ rất là tự hào và rất là yêu quý.
Very good. Everybody, that concludes another episode of Vietnam Innovators. Thank you for being on and tuning in and supporting the program. Without you, this would not be possible. That was Michelle Ford, the general manager of the Namia River Retreat, and also Mr. Nam, the owner of the retreat as well. See you guys next time. Come visit the Namia River Retreat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.